Hey guys, it's Julien, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how I made my new track, Galactus. This track is out now on Umex's label 1605 on their newest compilation, and the link to check it out is right at the top of the description. And today I'm going to be showing you everything I did to make the track. You know, I don't think there's enough guides out there on YouTube where people are really going through tracks that have been released on professional labels like this and showing you how it's actually done. You know, a lot of tutorials are very hypothetical and very much based on like the idea of techno and the idea of this music rather than they are based on the actual music. So today I'm going to be using a full track that I've made that's actually released on a label to show you how you would go about doing it. And yeah, so to go along with this, I have the full project file and samples and MIDI and all the presets from the track right at the top of the description on my Bandcamp. So if you guys want to take this track and tear it apart and kind of get to understand it, maybe you honestly just want to take some samples, you know? Maybe like you just want to sample my kick or whatever it is. The full project file, all that stuff is available right at the top of the description. There's also a link to check out the track if you haven't already. And yeah, so let's dive in. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is the kick and the percussion. So right off the bat here, we have this kick. This is just one of my kicks that I bounced down. You can hear the main thing with this one is it's a bit of like a, you know, it's not got that big like to it like a lot of kicks, but it still has a lot of punch. And where this comes from is really in like the low end. Like if I look at this on the spectrum here, see how even though the high end may not have that like to it, it's the fact that the low end is so huge, like you can see down here. That's what's really making this kick sound big. So that's the first thing that makes this work. And the reason why I think this is important is because by focusing the kick less in the high end and more in the low end, we can have more elements in the high end. You know, because the punch of the kick is sitting more in the mid-range, so then all those hi-hats and stuff in the sharp highs, like the lead and all that, you can hear it's not going to clash so much. And you can still get the punch of the kick while still getting those elements. And yeah, and then with the percussion, I'll just go kind of through the different layers here. The first thing here is this little like synth riff. This was just this thing from a sample pack that I shortened. It was like this long synth loop. This creates a lot of cool percussion though. The thing is that this was originally intended to be used as a synth like in a track on its own, but then you can see by high passing it and having it kind of bounce off the kick, it creates this nice, very like intense percussion loop. And yeah, that's adding a lot to the track. So that's that. And then we have like the ride, you know, pretty standard techno ride. We have this shaker. You can see this one's just like a really fat shaker sample. Got it going through some auto pan. So it's making it bounce back and forth so that you can hear it with all the other hi-hats happening. And you can also see pretty much every hi-hat here, besides like these ones that are hitting on the upbeats, have this auto pan. So this is something just to make it kind of like all fit into the groove a little bit more. You don't even really notice the auto pan so much, but just having that sort of like pumping feeling is adding a lot. And yeah, and then we have like our main hi-hat. And so it's just two layers. We have some mid-range and then some high-end, just layering those together as you guys see me do in the videos. And then we just have this hi-hat, which you can hear is just playing off of what the shaker's doing. And yeah, and then on the group of percussion, I've just got a bit of reverb, some drum bus, washout, EQ. There's this low pass filter that automates, it's just during the break here, like in this part. I like to do this when you're bringing in hi-hats because, like in this part, so you have this big open break. And like if we just had these hi-hats drop right there, without the low pass, You know, it can be a little bit too much, but if you just kind of bring it in, it's a nicer way to do it. And then this washout here is just, you know, like going in and out of the breaks and the drops and all that. And yeah, so that's the percussion. You can see it's not really that complicated, actually, to make the percussion for a track like this. But the next thing I'll show you here is the lead, which is made with Diva. It sounds like this. So here is the MIDI to the lead. You can see what's happening. So you can see it's not actually that crazy of a MIDI pattern. The thing with this one was just really like hammering it down to only be a few notes. So like you can see here, you know, we have C sharp, we have D sharp, excuse me, and then A sharp, which is the fifth of D sharp. We have this F here, which would just be the ninth, F sharp, which is the minor third, and then the C sharp here, which is the minor seventh. So really not that crazy, only a few notes there, and then it's just kind of, you know, playing across different octaves and just having different combinations of notes over here. You can see it's pretty simple. The only extra note there is that one note that is just one semitone up from A sharp, or from A sharp. So you can see, you know, again, pretty simple MIDI. It's really just about getting like a really big, fat synth sound like this. And I bounced this one down, but it was made using Diva. And the thing about this synth was that it was really simple. You know, all it really came down to is just a really nice Diva patch that I made that was really fat and really full sounding already coming out of the synth. And then, you know, just a little bit of reverb, a little bit of echo, a little bit of drum bus or saturation or something like that. And that's really all that the lead needed. It's not that complicated. And then you can just kind of bounce it down and explain it very simply this way, because it's really more about just having really good notes and something that's really creative in that regard, and, you know, just a very powerful and fat synth, than it is about having something that is, you know, 10 layers of effects, and each effect is, you know, slowly building up to this crazy sound. You really just want a great sound coming out of the synth with great MIDI, and it's going to sound really good. And yeah, and then that's the lead. And the next thing I'll show you here would be like all these extra sort of stab synths, which sound all together like this. I'll play that last one. So you can hear, these are all just sort of like those little background stabs that you hear. These are really popular in the style of techno, and they're really important too, because these are going to add a lot to the background groove of the track. Like if you listen to this, you know, having that constant bow, 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 and then the little other stabs that are happening, it's giving a lot of movement to the track, because you're hearing really just like a few simple elements. Yeah, it's just these hi-hats that go over and over in the kick and the lead. But then these are the things that are breaking it up in between. And so these are made a few different ways. This first one is just like this little synth stab here. I've high-passed it a little. It's going through some drum bus. The second one is actually a layer with the third one as well, where we just have like these cashmere brass sounds. So we got this one. And then this one. So we're getting like that low, deep growl, and then fortifying it with the bright high end and mid-range of this one. And then these last two stabs are made using FM synthesis. So if I play these, these are really similar to the ones that you guys see in my tutorials. I actually might have just dragged in some of the tutorials, ones that I made, and then like kind of changed them a little bit for this track. But you can see these are just sine waves, a little bit of FM synthesis. You know, it goes a long way. It's not that hard to create these. And then with the notes on all these little stabby synths, it's just playing the root note. So it's always like coming back to that main key. And yeah, so then after that we have like this little Atmos down here. That's just something I sampled. And then I put it through a bunch of different effects. We've got like filters automating. There's also like this little like vocal thing, or like a reverse. That's just like this old sample from an old sample CD. We've got the effects, so you can see like we have the snare. You can see even this has that auto pan on it to make it, really feel nice. That was actually a suggestion Umek gave me that ultimately became really good. Then we have like all these effects down here. There is this operator. Just like a simple white noise build. We have some little stuff. And the transitions like that. And then the last like main thing here to show you would be this low end bus up here, which is actually just stuff that's happening in the break. So you can see we have these two different basses. There's this one. So I've got the synth patch for that one down here. But yeah, it's just like this really deep and fat bass stab that comes in. Just playing one note as we go into the break. Really simple there. Just kind of helps with the transition. We also have this bass stab, which is this serum down here. And that's just filtering in as well. There's also a kick here in the break. And I like using a different kick for this part than like the main part, because this main kick doesn't really have, like I was saying before, this main kick is a lot more focused on the low end, but for this kick, you really just want something with a lot of mid-range and high end to it. So this one is going to work perfectly in a way that the other one just wouldn't. So that's why we use a separate kick there. And so there we are. That is how I did it. That is how I made my new track, Galactus, which is out now on Umek's 1605 label. And thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project files, samples, MIDI, presets, all of that from this video if you want to tear apart this track and really see everything that's going on and get an understanding of it and be able to take this apart and get some ideas for your own tracks. The link to that is right in the top of the description. It's a great way to support me, guys. And definitely go check out the track as well if you haven't already. The new compilation is out now on 1605. It's great to be on this one. Shout out to Umek. Thank you again for adding me, dude. And I will see you guys again tomorrow with another video.